What's up guys, Dustin here. Today's tutorial, I put out that Instagram story and asked you guys what you wanted to see, and I had a bunch of answers. I had textures and collage. Some of you guys asked me just to show you how to do uh, stuff that's trending right now. So I'm going to try and just do like as many things as I can in this one artwork. So let's just get started by opening up a file. So I'm in Photoshop right now, and that's all I'm going to be using is Photoshop. So just go File, New, and then I'm going to do this for a square Instagram size. So I'm going to do 2000 pixels by 2000 pixels, RGB, 72 resolution, and hit Create. That gives us a square. And then let's start with a background. So, I mean, you guys can do whatever you want. For this, I think I'm gonna do a paper background because that's popular right now. Maybe do I just usually start by going to Google Images and typing paper texture until you find something you like. Go click on Images and make sure you are using high resolution. So I go to Tools, Size, Large, and that way you're getting the highest resolution possible that Google Images has to offer. So just look around here until I see something I like. That looks good. I kind of like that. It has a lot of textures and things going on in it, subtle things happening. So let's save that to my desktop. Go back to desktop here. Bring it into Photoshop. And then I'm just clicking on it, dragging and dropping it over into the file that we're working in. And I'm just going to delete that. Now, to transform, I'm using a Mac. I'm not sure what it is on a PC, but to transform this image to make it fill the whole thing, I'm hitting Command T, and that makes cursors all around. You see guidelines around the edges, and then I'm just going to hold Shift and click on the side and pull it over, and hold Shift again and pull it over, and now it fills the whole space. And then we're going to add some imagery. So let's see what we want to do. So I usually go over to Unsplash and look for, let's say, just look for something that sticks out. Hands, maybe. Some hands here. It's kind of look interesting. I think I've used this one before. This is the hardest part to me, is always finding the right image. I mean, it's all personal preference, really. Let's try this guy first. See, kind of looks cool. He looks kind of young and trendy. Let's use him. So I'm just opening him up in Photoshop, and then I'm going to cut him out. I like the coloring. That's kind of what I was looking for. I like, there's like some purple hues, and this person, whoever took this photo, already did some good coloring and lighting, so that kind of helps take that hard part away from us. And so a lot of people use different things to cut things out, but I use the magnetic lasso to start with. So I just select the magnetic lasso, and then you just follow along your edges. It's good to pick images that use solid backgrounds, like how this has white all the way around. Makes it easier for it to pick up on when you're trying to cut things out. Makes it very easy. And I would just use the quick selection tool to select all the white and erase, but there's a lot of white in this t-shirt, so that wouldn't be as easy as normal. So there, I just made like a rough trace around, and now I'm going to erase. Oh, sorry, I should tell you. So then once you use the magnetic lasso, you'll see like the dotted lines going around, and then this down here is called edit and quick mask mode. So while you have your dots around, select that, and in some of my videos you've seen like where it turns red like this. That's what I'm doing, is I'm hitting edit and quick mask mode, and what you're doing is you use your eraser to erase any red that you see on the object, and you'll use the paintbrush. Make sure that it's on solid instead of blur at 100% opacity, and you'll use your paintbrush to paint where you want it to be red, where you want it to cut out, and you'll use your eraser to erase any parts that are in red that shouldn't be red, like your shirt right here, how it's red. So I'm going to use the eraser tool, and this is how you get like nice clean cutout images. If some of you struggle with that, this is how you perfect that, get better. And then when you're done and everything is in red that you want to be in red, and everything that's is not in red is what's going to be cut out. And so you can hit the quick mask tool again, and now you see the dotted lines go all the way around in a perfect cutout shape. And now I'm just hitting Command C, Command V, and what that did is copy and pasted the person. So now there's no background around them, and I'm just going to click and drag them over here. And there you have it. So there's now this guy, and I'm going to hit Command T to transform, and I'm going to hold, if you hold Shift down, some of you already know this, and I'm going to say a lot of things you might know, but for beginners, I just have to say everything, any helpful tips and tools I know. When you hold Shift down while you're transforming and you're dragging from the corners, it keeps it all to scale. If I don't hold Shift, this is what happens. It gets warped. So when you hold Shift and you're using the transform tool, it keeps it all to scale and doesn't become warped. Alright, so we got a guy, we got a background, things are looking good. So what we want to do now is just kind of add some elements around them. Text, shapes, lines, whatever you can think of really that you want to use. So the hardest part is just kind of think of what you want it to say. So maybe for the sake of time, let's just say how about something like Sunday's coming. We'll make this a Sunday's coming graphic. Sunday. I have some weird font turned on right now. Switch that up here real quick. Sunday's coming. Let's do this in a different layer. So I'm just typing for now. Sunday's coming. Alright, so we got our words, and now I want to pick a good font. Let's see. I've been using this Helvetica Nui LTSTD 83 Heavy Extended. It's like the longest name ever. But it's a nice, good, thick font, if you like that. You see like Hillsong using this one a lot. So Sunday Sunday's coming. Actually, I might change this font here in a bit, but for now, let's just, to get a gauge of where we need to place stuff, let's just put this font here, and then I'm gonna a quick selection tool, a quick duplication tool. So I want to duplicate this text layer. Is hold down Alt, click on the layer. It could be the text layer, or this guy. I'm holding down Alt and I'm clicking on him, and that's how you make multiples. That's how you. It's an easy way to duplicate. So I duplicated that text layer, and now I'm editing this text. Sunday's coming. Put that one down here, and then like I'm gonna drag Sunday behind this guy, give it some depth, like so. Sunday is coming. Center this up here. Alright. Starting to take shape. So we got a guy, we got some text. Now I want to add some shapes and some color and make it into a collage that we like. So where do we start? What do we do? Usually I just grab random things I can think of. Like, I mean, sometimes you get inspiration from somewhere, and sometimes you just like look at things, and when you see things you like, you just grab it. Sometimes it's not as complex as you think. It's, for me, I'm just looking at Google Images, I'm looking at Unsplash images, and I'm finding things. I'm just typing in textures and paper texture. Let's go dotted paper texture. Tools, images, tools, large. And then I'm going down here until I find something I like. I mean, I like some of these dots. I like this, it's kind of cool. Save that. What else do we got? It's kind of cool. Just like some dots. Save image as desktop. Let's do torn paper texture. A lot of you like the torn paper texture is kind of taken off. You see that in a lot of graphics. Kind of use that. I like something like that maybe that we can add behind the guy. I'm just looking around some more just to make sure I find the best one. Torn paper texture. Alright, I think I'm going to use the one that I saw at the beginning. Up at the top. Here we go. I'm going to use this one right here. This looks like a piece of cardboard or something. Save images desktop. And there we go. Maybe even like a black paper texture. Here's some black paper textures. This kind of looks interesting. And maybe we'll use something from this. I like it. Alright, I think that's good for now. So I'll just exit out of here and come back to this. And then we got some textures, some paper. Let's start with this piece of paper here. So now, see how it's like a solid white all the way around? So this would be really easy to cut out because we'll just use, instead of the polygon lasso tool, I'll use a magic wand. And I'm just going to click on the white background and see how it just outlines everything in white. And if we try and just hit delete, it'll say you can't do it. So what I do is like double click over here and hit OK, and it unlocks the layer. And now you hit delete, and now it doesn't have a background. So you just bring that over here. Let's put that behind the sky. It's disappeared, so we're going to make it a little bit bigger so you can see. Got a little bit of paper. It's kind of a cool thing. I don't really like the brown, so I want to make this piece of paper red. Maybe even like, let's turn the sky black and white. Yeah, there we go. And I'm going to adjust the coloring of this background a little bit. Let's just go Adjustment, Saturation. And I'm going to change the hue and saturation. And the lightness up and down. Until I find something I like. Kind of like that. And then I'm going to adjust this guy. I don't know why, I like to go in the levels, image adjustment levels, and I darken up the blacks, bring out the whites, and then I take my output levels and I always grab this one over here, and if I bring it up, it kind of gives it that vintage look. So I'm kind of happy with that. And now I want to turn this piece of paper red. So sometimes I can just do that. If there's like a lot of color in it, I can just go hue and saturation and then mess with the hue. Boost the saturation so you can see the colors. But I want it to be like a little bit brighter. I'm talking like maybe like a nice kind of muted red look like that. So I'm going to add a layer on top of this piece of paper. I'm going to go Control, right click, create clipping mask. And I'm going to hit color and see how it just puts the color right over top of that. I'm going to go into what's called our overlays and just try a couple different settings. Multiply, darken, color burn. I usually just go through these till I find something I like. That kind of looks cool. See like a little bit of grunge coming through, which I like. I'm gonna take this background, the paper background, and I'm gonna turn it black and white, and then that will allow me to do a better overlay. So now the blend mode is set to overlay. I'm gonna try a different overlay effect. Just going through all these. That kind of looks good. I think I'm just going to use overlay, but then I'm going to go into these settings of the piece of paper. I'm on the paper layer, the levels, I'm just adjusting, just making adjustments. So like that, something like that. And then I'm just gonna adjust this a little bit more, the vibrance of it. Something like that. And maybe there's no right or wrong way to do, all this. Like, it's all personal preference, really. Just moving things around. Okay. Let's see. Maybe let's bring our dot texture in. I'm going to open this in Photoshop, bring this over here, and this one's going to be pretty easy. All I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to change the blend mode because it's black and white already to maybe like a multiply, and then the background goes away. So you can kind of see that. Adjust these levels a little bit. That's kind of a cool another layer, and then we're going to go, let's bring these dots over in here, open those in Photoshop. Same thing, it's black and white, which makes it nice. Just change it to multiply. And now we got dots. I'm just hitting Command T to transform. So yeah, I'm just like, it's all personal preference. I'm just changing things around. I can kind of see a line here from that paper texture. So what I want to do to get rid of that is I go levels, and you want to adjust the blacks and the whites until you can't see. If I darken it, you'll see more of it, but I don't want to see it. So I'm going to bring the whites up. There we go. So now you're kind of seeing it start to come together. Maybe we can add just some lines, like pull out like some colors from here. So I'll use the color picker. Grab this black color here. Oh, drag and drop it to in front of them. So we got a line. Just do some other lines. Let's do a line here. So maybe this is everything we're doing right now. We're just giving it kind of some depth to field. The more little layers you have, the better this collage is going to turn out. So I'm going to duplicate. So I'm just hitting Alt and I'm dragging. Move that one in the front. Let's bring some more red in there since we haven't used that much. Color picker. Make these different sizes so they're not all the same. Okay. And what else we can do? Maybe a little bit right over here. Turn this one this way. See, it's starting to look pretty good. I'm just moving things around. Oops, not on the right layer. There we go. All right, Command T, transform. I'm going to adjust some opacities just so not everything looks the same. You see a lot of people doing like X's. I don't think there's any like significance to this at all. I just think I think it looks cool. So maybe we'll do a couple of these X's. Again, like I feel like people are gonna say, "Oh, what's the point of these X's?" Like honestly, don't overthink it. There's really not much. I'm not doing it for any specific reason. I'm just adding elements to the design. I want all these to be white, so I'm gonna hit right click and go copy layer style. And then I'm gonna go click on my other two X's and hit paste layer style. And now they're all white. Just like that. I'm gonna grab all of them, so I'm holding shift. I'm clicking on all three of them. And I'm gonna bring those behind this guy a little bit. There we go. Alright, so that's starting to look pretty cool. Maybe we'll do some thin lines. Hold down Alt and click, and then you can duplicate them up. Okay. Alright, that's starting to look a little bit like a collage to me. I'm pretty happy with the way it's turning out. I want to do a bit more red behind here. Just so that text, I want that text to pop out a little bit better. Maybe change it to white or something so it's not all the same. Oh yeah, that kind of looks good. And then Sunday's coming. Awesome. Alright. This is kind of another cool thing people are doing. You see people like doing these little, whatever the color palettes that they're using, they throw them like subtly in the somewhere in the graphic. So maybe we'll do that. We got our black that we're using, and then I'm going to duplicate it. Oops, that was a mistake. I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to pick our red that we're using. And we're using white as well. So let's not forget that. Alright, now we got those three color palettes. That's kind of looking cool. Let's duplicate that. Yeah, so that's looking good. Just centering that up just so everything feels balanced a little bit better. So yeah, let's move these a little bit closer together. This is all just, again, personal preference here. Like, there's things that drive me crazy that won't drive you crazy, and that doesn't make it wrong or right. Let's darken him up a little bit by using levels, just so I can see that white, the word coming a little bit better. I want this box to be a little bit thicker around the edges. There we go. Alright, so it says Sunday's coming. Looks good. I don't know what else we can, I mean, keep adding things all you want. I think it's starting to look pretty good. I don't know if I would add anything else really. Bring this maybe behind there. Make sure, bring it all the way back. I want it behind everything. There you go. Bring the opacity down. Okay. Alright, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm happy with that. Let's add one more random one across here. And let's bring the opacity down. Alright, so yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think that looks good. We can keep going all day, you know. But let's get on to textures. I want to teach you guys some texture things we can lay over top of it. First of all, let's save this just to make sure we don't lose everything. Sunday's coming. Alright, save it to my desktop. Alright, so we got our collage, we got our text, we got our colors. Everything's looking the way we want it to. I think now I just want to add some texture to it. So what I usually do is I just go to Google, paper, texture. Actually, let's do black paper, texture, images, and we need a high resolution. This one's kind of cool. Some lines. Alright. That's a good one. Here's a good one. Let's use that. Save image as. Maybe this one. Oh, it's got a watermark on it. That one's kind of cool. Save image as. Desktop. Alright. So, this kind of gives us our use that one too. Alright, so we got 3 paper textures. You can never have too many paper textures. That's what I think anyway. So I'm going to open them up in Photoshop. Let's do one at a time. We're going to lay these on top of everything. So we want to make sure this is the very top layer. So we go layers. Right now I need to find it. So right now it's not the top layer, so I'm going to drag it all the way to the top. I'm going to hit Command, Transform, lay it over top of the whole thing. And I want to change it to, let's just see what it looks like first. I usually use, when I'm doing the paper texture, I use Lighten or Screen. See how it kind of gives it a, that's with and without. It gives it kind of a vintage feel. So let's see what light does. Is that, sometimes it doesn't do anything, so. But I can go in here and go to levels and bring up paper texture a little bit. Screen. Alright, I think I want to use screen, but I want to do some adjustments with the levels. This will help you see it. You can adjust, you know, however much you like or want to see. Putting a little bit on there. So we got this. This is without. This is with. Just adds a little bit of subtle vintage feel to it. You guys have been asking like how I get that look. This is kind of how I do it, by using lots of paper textures. You can never have too many. And also, it's just smart to keep a folder. On my hard drive, I have a folder of textures. I'm just showing you how easy it is to just go on Google and just find some. But I think I already have all these stored somewhere on a hard drive that I just pull from. And that's how you just cut corners and get faster at what you do. It just makes it easier just to pull from a folder. So that needs some adjustments. I don't like that it's right over his face. I want to kind of bring it down. And let's bring this up here a little bit. So I don't think I want it to be that heavy, so I'm just going to mess with the opacity. This is nothing. And then I'm slowly bringing it up. There we go. And I think I want to shift this nut to be right over the center of his face. There we go. Alright, Sunday's coming. There we go. What do you guys think? I think this is pretty good. I like to just take one last look and make sure everything's centered. Again, this is just like after 12 years of doing this, you just start to care about this kind of stuff. Like, is everything centered? Does it look balanced? Those to me are the important things. So, yeah. Not sure what's going on here. Pull that over a little bit. There we go. Alright, so there we go. We have a Sunday's Coming graphic. And I hope you guys learned a little something. There's some trends. Oh yeah, before I go, sorry, I want to teach you one more thing really, really fast. Some of you asked how to do outline text. So this is like becoming very common to do text that is just outlined with no fill. So I have my Sunday text, and I'm going to go over here to fill, bring that all the way down, double click that layer, and then I'm going to add stroke. I'm just going to, this is on, and it's set right now on inside, but you might want to do it outside. Keeps the thickness of your font. And make that black. There we go. So yeah, you can, this is kind of like the style everyone's doing. Sunday's coming. Or we can do it to this one. Where's that text line? Where's the word coming at? There we go. Let's go fill, bring that to 0, and hit stroke, and turn it white. There we go. I kind of like it a little bit, but I want to make this the word Sunday filled in. So I'm going to take that stroke off and bring my fill back up. Sunday's coming. There we go. All right, I think that looks good. Hope you guys enjoyed this little tutorial and learned something. If you do something similar and recreate this, I would love for you to tag me. I love seeing what you guys do with this kind of stuff that I'm teaching you. Yeah, just tag me or DM me or whatever, and I'd love to see what you do. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.